tutorial on a couple of the steps for the little scrappy. So I did get some feedback on Instagram that was very good, and it was a lot of people asking for shorter videos on just the steps to put things together. That way they don't have to keep skimming and skipping through the entire video to find those steps. Yeah? Okay. So I will do a full tutorial on the little scrappy, probably the 12 to 24 month size next month or so, maybe sooner. It just really depends on how quickly I can get through these. This video is going to show you how to attach the sleeves onto the cardigan. I'm also going to show you how to do the front panels, like to put the front panels on the cardigan. Figured that was an important step that I usually get some questions about. Also going to go over the edging, the bottom edging and the front edging, and show you how to taper your edge. So there is a way to thin out the edging on the front. So it's like to go around the collar, and it doesn't have to be as wide all the way around. It could just kind of stop like at a certain point. I usually just choose like right where the first set of squares are. And yeah, so we're gonna go over that. But I'm gonna set you up on my tripod, just like how we did it last time, or on the first one, if you were there, and just dive on in. So see you there. Okay, so I just set you up on my tripod, and I did tuck in a couple of my ends. So, but there's a couple that are not, so don't judge me. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to attach a front panel onto the cardigan. I already did this side. So I attach it on the top here, right up here. And then once you attach the front panel, then we can join the side and add the sleeve. So what I do is, I'm goofy today. I'm going to just kind of do this to the top of my cardigan. That way I can just work with it like that. I don't know how to explain that. That was terrible, probably. If you're just a visual learner, that's probably better. And use the same hook that you use to make your squares to join. And I think I've said this in the previous video, but it's always good to keep your tension loose while joining. So we're gonna start in that middle chain in the corner, and then add this square as well. And we're just gonna slip stitch. And then I like to start from the outside and go in, and I'm sure you'll see why once I get to the end. So we're just gonna join these two pieces together. Do 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 do. Oh man. It's funny because I was just like super tired about an hour ago, and now I'm like wired. I did also have some candy, so maybe it's the candy that got me all wired. That might not be a good thing. Like a sugar rush. I'm gonna crash later. Oh boy. I should probably be quiet now, just so you can watch. Okay, so now that I made it to the chain already on the corner, this chain and the middle chain was already worked on this square because it's on the back, and that's totally fine, but we're gonna work into that first chain. Grab this chain on this square, and then what I do is I actually kind of put my hook inside of this chain right here. I don't know if you can see that. This chain that we made right here. I kind of try to get in there along with the, oop, I slipped. I have green paint on my hands. Oh boy. I was painting eyes. All right, so I insert my hook into that slip stitch from the back panel, and then I kind of move this end away, and then I'll put my hook into this middle chain and slip stitch that way, just like so. And then I'll chain one, just like fasten off, and then pull tight. And then it's pretty nice and seamless in some way, when I slip stitch into that top, like slip stitch from the back panel, it looks nicer, I feel. This is just a personal opinion. If you like to do it a different way, you can totally do that. But that's just the way I do it. All right, so now we're going to add the sleeve. But first, before we add the sleeve, you have to join these set of squares together, like on the side. So basically the sleeve is going to go like this. Sometimes I like to, let's see what side I want. I want this side. Okay, so basically, oh, my brain. You're going to join these two squares first. And then once you hit the intersection where these like two ends are, that's when we're going to start joining the sleeve, and we'll join the sleeve like on the front part of the tube and then make our way around to the armpit. I hope that makes sense. But if it didn't make sense, you're going to watch me now. All right, so start with a slip knot, and we're going to join like we've been joining for the entire thing. I put my yarn like inside just so it stays behind everything. All right, so, ooh, don't mind me. Okay, start in that middle chain, and we're just gonna join up these two squares. Until we hit that intersection. That's like, it seems like that's like what I like to call it. Ooh, my phone is going off. Okay, oh. Okay. We're gonna make our way up. Okay. So now I'm in like that chain space. So I'm going to work that slip stitch in that unworked chain in this area. And then what I like to do is I'm gonna tuck these ends in. I'm not gonna knot them like I usually do on the original scrappy. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to insert my hook into this slip stitch right inside there. And then I'm gonna insert my hook into this slip stitch here. Oh, if I use this one. Okay. And join those two together. So now this is basically joined. And then here comes the fun part. We're gonna add the sleeve. So now that my sleeve is on the right side, when you're on the left side, it's a little different. You're gonna end up joining the yarn, like you're gonna put your hook into the square, like next to, and then go on to the sleeve. But this one, we're doing the opposite. So we're gonna find that unworked chain right here in the corner of the sleeve. And we're gonna work into that unworked chain on this side as well. So here and here. And then that's how we're going to attach the sleeves on. And we're just going through one layer of the sleeve tube. So I'm only working on the front part of the sleeve. The back part will be attached onto the back panel. I hope that makes sense. So we're just gonna make our way up and around. And for the top of the shoulder, or it's not really the shoulder is kind of like half of this here, but if you know what I'm talking about. So this part, I typically knot these two together. Keep your yarn behind. Just so it's secure, and I'll kind of like tuck those in. If they don't want to stay tucked in, it's fine. I can just tuck them in as I'm going. But that way that's already together and secure. And that's why I like to leave those ends long when I'm joining, just so I can knot them to make the squares stay where they're supposed to stay, like lining up my seams. So I'm in that last chain, and now I'm going to go over it. And of course, I did mention in the other video, if your tension is like tighter than mine, which most of my testers' tension is tighter than mine, chain one and then jump on over. I just jump on over, and then I go ahead into this unworked chain here, unworked chain here. So now I'm going to the back side. So basically I just went over this seam, and now I'm going to be working on the back side of the cardigan. So this part is the unworked part, so we're just going to attach that to this square. Okay, move that end away. So now I have an unworked chain here and an unworked chain here. So I'm going to go ahead and work in those. Still keeping the yarn behind for that one. And now I don't have any more stitches left to I just made myself laugh. I don't have enough stitches to slip stitch into. So what I do, this is just the way I fasten off or close this hole. There's a couple options. You can also just fasten off now, cut this off, and then just basically sew this shut. But I personally don't like to sew. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my hook into this slip stitch here to the right, and I'm going to insert my hook into this, like it's the overlapping slip stitch we made right here. And it's okay if the yarn is not on underneath. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that yarn through, if I can make it through without creating more of a mess. This end is going to drive me nuts. Give me one sec. There you go. See if I could pull that in, tuck it in. Okay. Now that I just did that, my hole is pretty much closed. So now I'm just going to chain one and fasten off here. And I just pull that tight. And now I don't have a hole there. So totally up to you and how you want to close that up. And then sometimes I'll just pull that end through just so it's on the inside, and weave those ends in on the inside. It's a little easier. There it goes. And so my armpit probably has, yeah, a couple of pieces. I sometimes knot it up too, and then I'll weave. But then that is how you connect your sleeve to your cardigan or your little scrappy. But now we're gonna go ahead and I'll show you how to attach the yarn for the bottom edging. So I flipped the cardigan upside down, like having like where the collar would be essentially towards me. And then I'm gonna attach the yarn into that middle chain of the bottom square on that front panel right here. So, and then you wanna switch out your hook to, yeah, this was the right hook. I'm silly. Switch out your hook for the edging. The edging hook is smaller than the one that you would use to join. I'm sure you're aware of that if you have the pattern. If not, just throwing that out there. So gonna go ahead and start in that middle chain. I just made a slip stitch just to join my yarn. Sometimes I'll knot it, but today I'm feeling like just joining it with a slip stitch. So I'm gonna go ahead and chain 16, because that's what I did for the cuffs. I know in the first video, I think I only changed 10 for the purpose of the video. Yeah, all right. We're gonna go ahead and chain 16 because I like the bottom edging to mimic the cuffs. That's just a personal preference, but you could chain however many you want. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And basically we're gonna do the same thing we did with the cuffs. So you're going to single crochet down this chain, and then you're going to slip stitch however many you want to cinch the bottom, and then turn, skip how many slip stitches you made, and then go up, back up in the back loops only. I'll do one example here, and then we'll jump into the front edging for the tapering. So we're going to single crochet down, starting in the second chain from the hook, and I choose to slip stitch only 2 on the bottom edging. I don't like it to be too cinched. I want it to be a little bit more relaxed, but this is totally a maker's choice. So make our way down. And then I'm going to slip stitch 2 to the left. 1 and 2. And the chains do count as a stitch. So there's that extra chain in that corner that is counted as a stitch. So now I'm going to turn, and I'm going to skip those 2 slip stitches, and I'm going to single crochet in the back loops only all the way up. And notice I did not chain 1. I just skipped those 2 slip stitches, and then I started going. Let's see. And then I will chain 1 at the end of this row. So whenever you are turning to go towards the cardigan, you would chain 1. Chain 1 and turning, and then single crochet in the back loops only all the way down. And then you're just going to repeat this all the way around the bottom, and just make sure you keep your slip stitches consistent. And if you are cinching it a bit, make sure that it's the same throughout. You may end up with an uneven amount on the end, which is totally fine. It won't look, it's not going to look funky at all, promise. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this bottom edging. That way I can show you guys how to do the tapered front edging. And this video should be nice, short, and sweet. Let's hope. Because I can be such a chatterbox. But I will finish this, pause you, and then come right back. Okay, hi, it's a different day because when I finished this bottom edging, I had to go pick up my daughter. So this is the next day. So I just wanted to show you the bottom edging finished. And I also, this is the last part of this video, is the tapered collar. So this is just an option that is on the pattern. So if you decide that you want your collar, like the edging around the neck, just to be slightly shorter, this is just the way to do it. I ended up doing this for my daughter because she doesn't really like things around her neck. And I was just trying to envision this thick, edging around her neck, and I knew she wouldn't like it. So for the front edging on this one, I chained 9, just so you guys can see maybe the tapered edge on a thicker edge. I may end up frogging this after this is all said and done and make it just a smidge shorter. But maybe not. I don't know. I think I like it. I don't know if I was going to keep this for Penelope or not, my daughter. So, all right. So the front edging, you basically start on the end of your bottom edging, and you're going to attach your yarn to that bottom single crochet here, and then chain your desired amount, and then you're going to repeat the process on the front like what you did on the bottom edging, just for the front. So pretty simple there. But here I'm going to show you how to taper. So typically I will do the front edging all the way up until the first square intersection. So basically where the seam is of this first square on the top. And then I will make my way down, slip stitch like normal. And for the front, I usually just do 2. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to single crochet down. And then I'm going to slip stitch 2 to the left like I normally would. And I usually just put my hook into the seam. 1 and 2. And I'm going to turn. So here you go, you're going to start your decrease. So we're going to decrease 1 with these the first 2 single crochets. So you would still be going in the back loops only. So what I do, let me see if I could zoom in so you could see better. Okay, haha. So I'm gonna skip these 2 slip stitches like I have been for edging like normal. I'm gonna insert my hook into this back loop and then insert my hook into this back loop, pull or yarn over, right? Yarn over, pull through both of those loops, yarn over, and make a single crochet. So that is 1 decrease. And so now I'm just going to continue doing a single crochet up this front edging. I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to turn. And then I'm going to single crochet all the way down until I have two single crochets left. And then those last 2 single crochets, I'll go ahead and do another decrease. And it's up to you how many decreases you want to do. I end up just doing 2. So I'm going to insert my hook into this back loop and this back loop, yarn over, pull through both of those loops, and create a single crochet. Now I'm going to continue on to slip stitch to the left like we've been doing, turn, and now I should only have, I think, 5 or 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6 single crochets left. I started with 8, so I decreased twice, and so I should only have 6 single crochets to go around. Let's say if you want 5 instead of the 8 that you had on the bottom here, and you want it just 3 single crochets shorter, you would go ahead and decrease again. So your decreases will always occur towards the cardigan. So never decrease at the end, like away from the cardigan. So all your decreases need to happen towards the cardigan. So if you want to decrease again here, you totally can. I'm not going to, but I'll show you. So we're going to go ahead and decrease again just for the sake of this video. I'm going to insert my hook here, insert my hook into that back loop as well. We're going over 2 single crochets and then single crochet. So that would be your 3rd decrease technically. And then you would continue back up. And then now you should only have 5 single crochets down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I think as for me, I think I'm going to be good with 6. Or let me see. Let me take a look. Maybe we'll keep it at 5. How about that? We'll just keep it at 5 since I already did it. Totally up to you how many times you decrease. You would just decrease the amount of times that you want it. So as soon as you get it to as short as you want it to be, then you'll stop decreasing and just continue this this amount of single crochets all the way around. And then we're going to, let me just zoom out. And then we're going to go, ooh, too much, Priscilla. And then we're going to go all the way around the collar until we reach this seam on this first square. And this is where we'll start to increase. So they can mirror each other, so it doesn't look so so there's like a casual how would I say I'm losing words again. I thought I slept really well last night too, so I don't understand why I can't find the words. But after you decrease, you're going to continue with these 5 single crochets. Since we're going to keep it this way, these 5 single crochets, we're going to go all the way around, and then when we hit this seam here, which is the first square, we'll stop and increase. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, pause this video, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and I just slowly realized that my workspace is so messy, so I'm so sorry in advance, but this is what happens when I'm trying to record while my little one is napping. And I basically made my husband go in the garage to be like, hey, just give me a couple minutes, please. So, but anyway, sorry about that. Okay, don't mind the mess. Just let it be. All right, so I went ahead and went around the collar, and now it's time to do some math. I know this might not be what people want to hear, but it's gonna have to happen. So this is the math that you need to do. So we ended up decreasing on this collar 3 times. So, and I slip stitched twice in between each of the rows. So what does that mean is I multiply 3 decreases by the 2 slip stitches, and that gives me 6. So I just kept going around until I was reached, ooh, my ring snagged on the, my ring snagged on the cardigan, sorry. I'm gonna now continue this shorter tapered edge all the way around until I hit until there's 6 stitches left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on this first panel. This way, when we go ahead and do our increases, they actually are very gradual. So let's say, for instance, you only decreased twice and you slip stitch twice between your rows. You will only keep going until you reach 4 of the stitches that are left. But since I went ahead and decreased that third time here, I need to count that in. So I have 6 stitches left here. So now this is where I will start my gradual increase. I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch twice to the left, and I'm going to turn. I did not plan this accordingly. Turn. And now I'm going to increase into the single crochet closer to the cardigan. So exactly what we did before, where we decrease closer to the cardigan, we're going to increase closer to the cardigan. So I'm going to go ahead and increase into this back, the back loop only of the single crochet. So instead of putting just 1 single crochet, I'm going to put 2. So 2 single crochets in this stitch, and then we're going to continue up like normal. And now we should have 6 single crochets instead of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. And now we're going to make our way down all the way into each one of those 6 single crochets, back loop only. Ooh, this one's like hidden behind there. And just make sure there's 6, 2, 4, and 6. There it is. And I'm going to slip stitch 2 to the left. And then we're going to increase again. So turn, increase again into this this first single crochet. So 2 single crochets into this one, and then make our way up. I love how I say up. I've been doing that a lot in these videos, but you know what I mean. And chain 1 and then turn. If you don't know what I mean, I'm so sorry. We're gonna go down this row towards the cardigan. So now we've already done 2 increases, so we should have 7 single crochets. And now I need to do 1 more increase. So I'm gonna go ahead and slip stitch 2 to the left. Don't mind my end here. And then there's my last increase here. So now I should have 8 single crochets on my edging. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. So now this should now be the same length as this part of the cardigan. So now that I make my way all the way down, this is the only part that's tapered, and this part will be wide. This is all maker's choice. So if you decide you want to start tapering like down here, you totally can. Just follow the instructions I gave you from up here, and then you're going to end up needing to do some visual math and figure out where you can start increasing wherever you started. I just liked how I started here on the seam, so I knew this is where I started and this is where I ended. So that was just the only reason why I started here. So I'm going to go ahead and continue this front edge all the way down to this bottom here, and it should be all done, and it will have a gradual tapered look around the collar, and that is how you do it. Yeah, I kind of hope that these videos were somewhat short and sweet. I know, like I think I mentioned in the first video, maybe in the beginning of this one as well, that a lot of you have given me some feedback that you wanted the videos just to be a little shorter, just for something for you to reference to. But yeah, I'm also here to remind you, go ahead and weave your ends, because I know I need to, and this is totally the time to do it if you haven't done it already. Typically I do not weave my ends in as I go with these scrappies for some reason. I just tend to wait till the end to do them, and that it's not healthy. Anyway, I hope this helps you along with the pattern. If you have any other questions or concerns or comments or anything like that, you can leave it below on this video, or you can message me directly on Etsy, or you can message me on Instagram as well. On Instagram, it's a little easier for me to maybe show you videos or photos of any place that you're stuck on the pattern. I don't mind doing that for you. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you give this video a thumbs up. Might as well. It helps me. If you give this video a thumbs up, it helps me. And then hopefully within the next couple weeks or so, we'll have a full tutorial on how to put one together from start to finish in the size 12 to 24 months. But thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye-bye.